Okay. So the purpose of this video is to help you understand really what the purpose of the SDR role is. Um, if you're looking to break into tech sales, the SDR role is most likely the role where you're going to start. It's an entry level role. Um, I'm not going to necessarily explain the day to day in this video, but in this video, I do want to help break down the background of what the sales world looks like in the tech industry so that you can understand the role that you're going to play. It is an important role. I wish someone had made a video like this for me when I started 8 years ago, because I was really lost and confused, and I didn't really know what the intention of my role was. I just was given instructions, I did them, I got paid, and I was happy. I was a broke college kid, first generation. I was just happy to get paid. So I want to break this down for you, and I'm going to keep it high level. I want to arm you with enough information to be dangerous in your interviews. Um, and so I'm not gonna complicate this. It's not a complicated thing anyway. It might feel that way if you're not from the industry and it's your first time hearing about it, but let me explain it like I would explain it to my grandmother, and hopefully that will arm you with the necessary knowledge. So you really have to understand there are two different types of sales in this world. At a very high level, right? There's many more than this, but really it can be broken down into two different types of sales. There's B2C sales and there's B2B sales. Let me break it down. So B2C sales, that is known as business to consumer. What that means is that you are selling directly to an individual, and you're looking to get money out of their wallet, right? Um, Common examples of this would be electronic stores, retail, right? When you go and look to buy a new flat screen TV that costs $3,000, there's a salesperson there that help you and try to convince you, right? Or help answer your questions. Door-to-door sales is a very common type of B2C sale. Um, Real estate, when you buy a home or your parents buy a home or someone that bought a home, that's a example business to consumer. It's the real estate agent selling directly to a person, aka you or your family. Solar sales is another example. Basically, B2C sales is any type of sale where a business is selling directly to the individual. This includes e-commerce, so Amazon, Shopify, anywhere on the internet where you're buying something for yourself. That is a business to consumer sale. Those sales, honestly, they don't take much. Obviously, if you buy something on Amazon, it takes a couple clicks and you're happy and you buy what you buy and boom, it gets to your door. Or an electronic store, right? Let's say you're buying a new TV, a new vacuum, whatever it is. It's a pretty fast sale. You just have to see it, hold the product. If it looks good, you like the feel of it, you buy it, right? It's a pretty simple one conversation, maybe two if it's a bigger uh ticket item like solar sales or a home, obviously, right? In homes, there's a couple conversations, but generally speaking, when it's a business to consumer sale, it's a quick sales cycle. There's no complexity to it, given that the sales price is low. Let's say I buy a new TV and I want to allocate $1,000 to it. That's $1,000 that I could just put on my credit card and pay off. I don't really need to think about it. I don't need to go talk to my girlfriend about it. I just go and buy it and that's it, right? That's all there is to it. That's B2C sales. Now, there's also B2B sales. Um, B2B sales is business to business, and that's what the tech industry is all about. You're selling, you're not selling to an individual. Yes, you are dealing with individuals when you're selling into a company, but you're selling to the business. You're selling to the needs of the business. So what that entails is dealing with a lot of people. At minimum, you're going to be dealing with a few people at minimum. but in many cases, you might even deal with a dozen people, right? So, quick example would be, let's say I'm selling marketing software to help companies market their services better and get more eyes on their product, right? I'm going to be dealing with the marketing director. I'm going to be dealing with the chief marketing officer. I'm going to be dealing with their finance department because they got to make sure they got enough budget, or that they're actually getting a good deal here. Just checking their internal budgets. I'm dealing with their legal department because they got to look over our contract and make sure we're not scamming them, or making sure that it's not a bad move from a legal standpoint. So there's all these moving items and people that you got to deal with when you're going B2B. And this introduces a lot of complexity. And by the way, this doesn't even include the people that you're going to have to deal with at your own company to make this deal happen. You've got your own sales director who's going to help guide you and coach you through this. You're likely got someone that's called the deal desk. The deal desk helps you with discounts and packaging the offer in a way that makes sense. So there's a lot of people internally that you also work with to help make these deals happen. And so there's a lot of complexity here. The most common example of a B2B software sale, let's imagine, Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint. We've all used those products. So let's imagine you work in an office. This office has 1,000 employees. You guys all need software to help you create presentations and to create reports. So you're going to go need to buy 1,000 licenses of Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint. Well, guess what? For you guys to get those licenses, you as the employees don't actually end up paying for those. What ends up doing is the company buys 1,000 licenses from Microsoft and then installs them on every computer in the office. And so now you got what you need to get your work done. That's an example of a software sale. That's a very common sale where company needs certain software to be productive and be successful. They need that software for every employee in the office. What they do is they go to the software company, talk to their sales rep, get the demos, trial it out, make sure everything works well, and then they make the decision and sign the contract, right? At minimum, obviously, as you can tell, I'm alluding to complexity here. So this isn't a B2C sale anymore. These are sales cycles that take at minimum a few weeks, let's say 2 or 3 weeks at the very minimum. But in many cases, what these sales cycles end up being 2 months, 3 months on average, right? On average, and that's just for small deals. I know of large enterprise, large corporation deals, major deals that take a year, maybe a year and a half, sometimes even 2 years, and those tend to be the large, really, really, really big, multi-million-dollar deals. But the beauty here is that because of this complexity, because of these deal sizes, and how difficult it can get, um, well, guess what? The deal sizes lead to higher commission rates. This is why the tech industry is extremely lucrative and well paying. They want smart people who are eager and are ambitious. And so, um, anyway, for all these deals to actually end up happening, they go through various levels of approval, as I alluded to before. There's product demos that you're doing for them, there's trials, there's negotiations that happen, and so all of this takes some time to seal the deal. And but again, because of that complexity, the compensation is drastically higher and drastically different than what you would get paid being the TV sales guy at your local electronics store. So um, now. I want to break down, now that you kind of have that context, it's going to make sense as to why there are SDRs, right? So there's really, again, going to keep this high level here. There's two kinds of sales reps in the tech industry. There's the SDR, aka the sales development representative, and then there's the account executive, most commonly known as the AE. So many of you are going to be starting as the SDR. That's the entry level role. Everybody's got to earn their stripes in this industry before they climb up. everyone starts as an SDR in most cases. The exception being you already have a vast amount of sales experience in the business to business sales environment, in which case you'll usually start as an AE. But again, 98% of you will be here. So what does the sales development representative do? What does the SDR do? They really are the folks that are hunting for new meetings and new opportunities. You're the one researching companies and trying to find their decision makers. So, in the example, let's say of marketing software, you'd be looking to find the director of marketing, getting their email address, and sending them a targeted email campaign in with the goal of landing a meeting and setting that meeting up with the account executive, so that the account executive can then run their sales cycle and do what they need to do to close the business. So you might be wondering, well, why can't I be the AE and just close business? Well, that's why these roles are separated into two. The AE, the closer, he can't really be focused on finding new meetings and generating new sales opportunities and cold calling all day or cold emailing all day if he has to focus on running the deal and making negotiations and creating proposals and doing demonstrations. That's already a pretty taxing task. And so they need to be 100% focused on that motion, so that they can be successful and make money, not only for themselves, but for the business. Whereas the SDR, right? SDR can't be focused on setting new meetings and also selling. It tends to be a full workload to try to find new meetings, try to find these companies, looking for their directors of marketing, sending them emails, giving them calls, all of that. These roles are better off split. And so what you'll see in most companies, 99% of tech companies, they split the role. They'll have you be an SDR for about a year, 1 to 2 years, earn your stripes, again, prove that you can do the job, learn the craft, learn the industry. And then after that, you get promoted into the AE role, where you get to start closing deals and running those sales cycles. I would say, obviously, SDR role is the place where you can start, but everyone wants to be an AE. And so yeah, that kind of describes a little bit of why the SDR role exists. They are a pivotal part of the process. You don't really need SDRs in the B2C sales cycle because it's overkill. You don't need that appointment setter. Usually, the people come into the store and buy what they need to buy. There's no complexity there. But because in the business to business world, there's so much going on at any given time to make these deals happen. Well, in that regard, in that case, we need two different types of sales reps to run the sales cycle and help us get these deals. The SDR is step one, aka getting those meeting, dealing with the inbound leads that come to the company website and request for more information. And then there's the AE who then, once that meeting is set, steps in and takes over the sales cycle until it gets closed. So that's really, in a nutshell, what the purpose of the SDR is, and a little bit of the ecosystem happening in the tech industry. I hope that helps. I'll be continuing to break down the day to day in another video and helping you understand and prepare for your interviews.